If you've been on the spiritual path, you've more than likely fallen into some kind of trap at some point. Here are 3 really common spiritual traps that I've not just seen, but also experienced on this journey. Trap number 1, now that I'm spiritual, I have to get a spiritual job. The truth is, there are no spiritual jobs out there. The spiritual energy is within you, and it can flow into literally any job or situation. And the more flow that you find in a certain job, the more aligned that you likely are. If you don't feel that alignment, then it's fair enough to change it. But there's no such thing as an inherently spiritual job. There's this idea that anyone who goes through this process has to become a guru of some kind, and that would make an incredibly boring society. But it's also not true, because this energy will flow into people in different ways. As long as this energy can flow into what you're doing and you have some kind of alignment, it is spiritual in itself. Trap number 2 is to think that all problems in life can be solved through spiritual practices. Spiritual practices have great value, but you can't just apply them to everything. There are people who have a stomach ache and they'll think the answer to that is to meditate more or do more yoga or just go more abstract. But it could just be dairy intolerance, it could be poor posture or too much sugar. Sometimes the solutions are just very down to earth. They're not abstract or particularly spiritual. And yet people can be very dismissive of these down to earth solutions because they're looking for something profound. Their mind is fixated on spiritual concepts. But spirituality encompasses the whole thing, including things like diet and posture, etc., the more mundane aspects of life. Trap number 3 is the dreaded spiritual ego. Absolutely everyone on the path has had one of these at some stage or still has it. The ego is so tricky that it can pretend to be spiritual or well-intentioned. You'll hear people say, "There is no ego here," or "I am pure consciousness." But there's something about their energy that is just off. They might lack that vitality or joy. They might sound arrogant. The solution is to remember that talk is cheap. It doesn't matter how clever the spiritual ego can get. Your energy is what counts ultimately. Remember, spiritual traps are inevitable. It's just about dusting them off and getting back on track.